Craig? Is everything okay? I haven't heard a peep out of you lately. I didn't want to bother you because I thought you might be busy. But I can't help but worry when I don't hear from you for months at a time.
Hey Mom, sorry I didn't have time to message you. I'm fine.
Is work as manic as ever?
Yeah, has its moments I guess. Same old, same old.
You mean you're not busy with work? I was sure you hadn't been in touch because you were swamped with things at the office.
I'm hardly lounging around the house all day, but I'm not exactly being overworked either. I guess I'm somewhere in the middle? Sorry if I worried you.
Is everything okay? You don't seem yourself.
I don't?
Are you feeling under the weather, sweetie? Have you been eating properly? If you don't feel well, you need to go to the doctor ASAP. You only just got married. Falling ill is the last thing you need.
I'm not ill, I'm just stressing out over something. I think I might be depressed.
Depressed? Oh dear, you poor boy. What happened?
Mom, what do you think about Alice? Be honest.
What do you mean?
What kind of person do you think she is?
I think she seems like a very mature, sensible girl. A little shy and reserved perhaps, but it's not like that's a bad thing. Oh, and of course, she's gorgeous. Why do you ask?
I used to think so too, but it's like she turned into a different person as soon as we got married.
Really? How exactly do you mean?
Her temper is so short, she blows a fuse at the slightest hint of trouble. She started being crazy rude to me all the time for no apparent reason. Don't even get me started on how irresponsible she is with money. It doesn't end there. She literally never lifts a finger around the house, despite supposedly being a stay-at-home housewife.
Wow. Are you being serious? Is this really Alice we're talking about? I can't believe it. She seemed like such a good girl.
You and me both. I feel like a character in a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie. She treats me like a living slave while she goes out merrymaking with her buddies and spends my money like it grows on trees. She blows it all on frivolous junk like makeup, branded bags, accessories, clothes, all stuff that's way out of our price range. It's like she thinks I'm a freaking millionaire. If I don't keep up with the housework, she starts yelling and berates me like a kid who just wet the bed. Last night was because I forgot to put the mop back in the storage cupboard. I'm at my mental and physical limit. I don't know how much more I can take.
What on earth happened to make her start acting like this? You mean you're doing all the housework on top when working full-time? You must not even have a time to sleep.
Right? I'm more sleep-deprived now than I ever thought was possible. That doesn't stop Alice sleeping in past noon, though. Some days, she doesn't even get out of bed. All she does is stares at a damn phone making dumb posts on Peepgram with a friend.
Goodness me, Craig. I can't believe what I'm hearing. This is horrible. Are you perhaps reconsidering things? Perhaps she isn't the one for you after all. Surely this must have given you a pause for thought. It's still early days. You wouldn't be the first couple to call it a day before the honeymoon period had worn off, you know.
I think she's just taking me for granted is all. She doesn't mean it deep down. I'm not sure she could cope without me, honestly. I think she'd be lost on her own. Besides, it's not like she's the only one in the wrong. There are times when I don't keep on top of the housework to the standard she expects, so it's not like she shouts at me for no reason. She just praises me occasionally when I do a good job, and in those moments, it's like she's back to her sweet old self again.
Oh my God, Craig. You have to stop this.
Stop what?
I saw a TV documentary on domestic violence once. The victim was speaking about their abuser exactly like you're speaking about Alice right now. They call it codependence.
Codependence?
In any case, it's obvious that this isn't a healthy relationship we're dealing with here. You'll have a nervous breakdown at this rate. I'm worried about you.
A nervous breakdown? Jeez, Mom, that be dramatic. I'm a big boy. I can take a little stress here and there. It's fine. Sorry if I worried you. Maybe I should have just kept this to myself, huh? I'm really fine, I promise.
Not at all. I'm glad you told me. I want you to promise you'll keep me updated. Never hold anything back from your mother, okay? You can't keep everything bottled up all the time. Letting all that tension build up inside you will be the end of you. When something's bothering you, it's important to get it off your chest. I want you to remember you're free to walk away at any point. No one's forcing you to stay married. It takes two to tango. I'll support you in whatever you do.
Things are fine for now. Really, Mom. I'm just a little tired is all. I'll probably feel silly for telling you all this after a good night's sleep. That said, I can't deny it bugs me how it feels like the more I work, the less money I have.
Are things rough financially?
Rough would be an understatement. Every day is a struggle. We're on the breadline. There's some days I can't even eat dinner because we have that little money.
Good God, Craig. Are you joking me? You're bound to feel ill if you don't eat properly.
You're right. Listen, Mom, I hate to ask you this, but do you think you could lend me some cash? We're barely keeping up with the bills, let alone food.
Of course I will, sweetie. How much do you need?
$2,500 be pushing my luck?
That much?
We have so many bills to pay. We're in arrears on the electric too. They say if we're late one more month, they'll turn the lights out. I'm so sorry, Mom. I feel awful asking you for money.
I see. I'll send it to your bank account before the end of the day. And forget all this nonsense about lending. You can have it. Just make sure Alice doesn't find out about any of this, okay? Get all of your bills paid and then eat a proper meal. That's an order from your mother.
Thanks, Mom, I will. I can't tell you how grateful I am for this. The only time I get a chance to eat lately is during lunch break at the office on weekdays. I can't tell you how happy I am. I'm finally going to be able to eat something I enjoy for the first time in months thanks to you.
Craig, would you like to meet me to have a little word with Alice? No matter which way you look at it, the situation is toxic and we can't let it continue.
No, Mom, please don't say anything to her. I'll talk to myself.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't want her getting angry with me again. Please. You're right, though, we can't go on like this. We need to have a serious discussion about our relationship. It's hard to imagine us having a future together if something doesn't change. I think I feel brave enough to raise the issue with her after speaking to you.
I'm pleased I could be useful, son. But if things get worse, or it seems like they might get worse, I want you to come and speak to me right away. You're my son, and there's nothing you can't tell me. I'll let your dad know too.
I don't mind if you tell him, but will you tell him not to worry? That goes for you too.
We're your parents, Craig. You can't drop a bombshell like this on us and expect us to carry on like nothing happened. Make sure things don't get too heated. I don't want to hear about anyone getting injured. Be careful.
It's okay, I won't do anything rash. Just a nice, peaceful discussion between adults. Mom, I'm sorry. I did my best, but I think I made things worse.
What happened, dear? Didn't the discussion with Alice go well?
It didn't just not go well, she totally flipped out on me. The house was like an episode of Jerry Springer last night. She started flailing around like an escaped mental patient, calling me every name under the sun while frothing at the mouth and throwing things at me. The place was like a tornado here.
Oh my God, are you hurt?
I bled a little when she launched a remote control across the room and it caught me square on the forehead, but I'm fine other than that. It's nothing though, Mom, I swear. I got worse injuries playing soccer as a kid. It's barely even visible unless you come up real close. This is nothing compared to the time my head got cracked open when she pushed me down a flight of stairs.
What? What in God's name am I hearing here?
I got some stitches at the hospital and I'm fully recovered now. Chill, Mom, it's not a big deal. It was my fault for talking back to her. If I'd just done as I was told, it never would have happened. She just got her own back on me for my bad attitude is all. We're even now.
You call being hospitalized up for being pushed down a flight of stairs getting even? No matter what you said to her, no matter what you did or didn't do, nothing justifies violence. She's the aggressor here, and she's 100% in the wrong. Why do you insist on covering for her like this? It's like you've been brainwashed. What happened to the Craig I knew?
Mom, please, you have to understand she's not doing this out of malice. I think maybe she's just letting her selfishness get the better of her.
Yes, you made a similar excuse for her psychotic behavior last night too. What was it again? That she was taking you for granted?
I think she's super stressed out. Think about it. I landed my new job the same week we got married and we had to move to Wyoming basically straight away. She has 0 friends here and her neighborhood isn't exactly lively. She's probably just lonely and doesn't know how else to vent her frustrations. She made a lot of sacrifices for me. Being patient with her while she adapts to her new life is the least I can do. Growing pains, and that's all this is.
Pushing you down in a flight of stairs is growing pains? Throwing a remote control at your head is growing pains? Please, Craig, won't you listen to me? Stop justifying her behavior. This is abuse, plain and simple. No matter how many sacrifices she's made, nothing justifies violence. And blindly covering for her like this isn't doing her any favors, you know. She has a problem and she needs help.
I know that, but there's no getting through to her. I've tried talking, but I'm wasting my breath. It just fans the flames.
Right. There's nothing else for it then. I shall speak to her myself. Surely you see there's no other way now?
I'm grateful you want to help me, Mom. Really, I am, but it'll only make her worse. You're gonna have to deal with the fallout if she gets pissed off, but I have to live in the same house as her. I'm scared she'll take revenge on me. There's no telling what she might do next.
Is Alice really that dangerous?
I actually told her about the conversation me and you had yesterday. I said I had a chat with you, and it made me realize there were some things the two of us needed to discuss. That's when she saw red and started throwing stuff across the room. She was like a demon. When she calmed down, she said I have to cut my pain in the backside parents out of my life.
Pain in the backside?
Sorry, Mom, there's no telling what she might do next. I actually told her about the conversation me and you had yesterday. I said I had a chat with you, and it made me realize there were some things the two of us needed to discuss. She's mad with you now too because of how clumsily I approached the whole thing. Just like she says, I can't do anything right. I don't think it'll take much more for her to go completely off the deep end. Last night was the angriest I've ever seen her. I think things just got serious, Mom. Please, you have to be careful. Don't do anything that might upset her. She could do something dangerous.
She's already dangerous. What are we supposed to do? Wait until she kills you? I'm terrified for you, Craig. Who's to say that you'll get off with just a scratch on your head next time?
She won't do anything if we don't provoke her. And Mom, she told me I'm not allowed to speak to you anymore, which means in the spirit of not provoking her, I have to keep my distance from you now. I'm so sorry about this, but I just know she'll calm down if I do what she says. Maybe we can start speaking again when she chills out a little. Please, Mom, I'm begging you here. Please understand.
When you say keep your distance, how long for?
Until she calms down.
And when will that be?
Don't worry, Mom. I know she'll ease up if I just do as she says. She'll probably even forget she was mad at you as well, and we can all go back to normal. I'm gonna keep my head down and stay on top of the housework for a while. I'll be in touch again when she shows signs of improving, so please just hang on for a while, okay? Us messaging like this only makes her angrier.
Alice knows we're messaging each other?
Yeah, but don't worry, she gave me permission to talk to you today. But I don't think she'll be so lenient going forward. I only got the go-ahead this time because I agreed to break things off with you. She said she's going to be doing nightly checks on my phone from now on until I can prove I can be trusted.
Good God, Craig. She's like a dictator.
Maybe so. Alice makes the rules in this household. Look, Mom, the bottom line here is I need you to stop messaging me for a while. I'll be in big trouble if you don't.
Craig, divorce your wife. This is domestic violence.
Mom, please, she has a good side too. Don't even say things like that.
She's not the reason you're getting a divorce. You're the problem here. I know you know what I mean.
Me? Did I do something wrong? Whoa there, Mom, just hang on a sec. You do know how horribly Alice has been treating me all this time, don't you?
Do not play dumb with me, boy. I know it was all lies.
I have literally no idea what you're talking about.
You mean you have no intention of admitting it? I was hoping we could resolve this without me having to resort to extreme measures. But if you insist on playing dumb, then you leave me with no choice.
Playing dumb? I don't know what you mean.
I went to your house.
Why? I told you not to do anything that might upset Alice. Damn it, Mom.
Because I was ready to drag you back to my house kicking and screaming if I had to. I was obviously worried sick after you told me all those lies about what she was doing to you. What did you expect? Your car wasn't in the drive when I arrived, and I had no intention of meeting Alice at that point, so I waited near the house for you to come home.
Huh? And when exactly was this?
Yesterday evening. I waited outside the house between 5 to 7 p.m. Then Alice came out. She was taking out trash. My jaw almost hit the floor when I saw the state of her.
Why?
Because she looked terrible. I've never seen someone so run down. I barely recognized her. She was gaunt and emaciated. She must have been at least 10 kilograms lighter than when I last saw her. Her arms were covered in bruises, and her eyes were so hollow it was like I was looking at a real-life zombie. Alice is the one being treated horribly, isn't she?
No.
She agreed to show me her phone. I felt sick when I saw your message history. You were the one controlling her all along. You banned her from going out and seeing her friends. You checked her phone every night. And if that wasn't bad enough, you hit her if the housework wasn't done perfectly.
Yeah, you spoke to Alice. Are you at a place now?
I took her to the hospital. Then I took her back to her parents' house where she can be finally safe.
Her parents' house?
I know all about how you talked her parents into keeping their distance from you both. You isolated her from her own family, so they wouldn't find about you and your evil campaign of abuse against their poor daughter. I have to admit, you're a good actor. You had the wood well and truly pulled over my eyes. You even pretended to cover her for her supposed abuse against you to make me think she had you under some kind of spell.
What do you plan on doing with Alice? Give her back, she's my wife!
I don't plan on doing anything with her. You may be not aware of this, but she's an independent human being with a will of her own, and she wants a divorce. Her family are furious. I had to stop her dad driving over and kicking your ass. I never seen him so livid. She's staying with her parents for now. As for me, I'll be driving home and telling her father. We owe her parents a formal apology.
Why are you guys deciding everything by yourselves without asking me what I want? She's my wife and I'm the man of this household.
You lost your right to say when you viciously abused her. That poor girl. You're getting a divorce and that's final.
Mom, you have to do something to stop this. Alice's big bro knocked down my door. When I opened it, he forced his way in and lifted me off the floor by the scruff of my neck. Then he started screaming in my face about how I abused his sister.
I see. Her brother's a fisherman, right?
He's built like a tank, at least twice the size of me. He had the most murderous look on his face. I thought he was actually going to kill me. He was more like a demon than a human being.
What did you expect? Anyone would turn into a demon if someone treated their sister like that.
Are you listening to me, Mom? I said he lifted me up by the scruff of my neck. You can't just go around doing stuff like that. He's crazy. He needs to be in a psych ward. No way is he a fisherman. How could a barbarian like that hold down a respectable job? He's sure he isn't an escaped convict.
After all the horrible things you did to his sister, you're lucky all he did to you was lift you by the scruff of your neck. People have been killed for less. You're such a vile, despicable waste of space of a human being. I wish I had roughed you up some more. You got off easy.
Mom, what the hell? Don't say that. I'm your son.
Did he say anything else? What about the compensation?
Yeah, compensation was mentioned. He said I was going to owe her tens of thousands of dollars, and if I didn't pay it, he threatened to pound my skull in until I have no teeth left.
Good. It's time to take responsibility for your actions. The doctors gave us medical certificates listing all of Alice's injuries when I took her to the hospital. Between that and the chat logs, we have more than enough evidence for the court case. You're not worming out of this way, one boy.
Jesus Christ, Alice is taking me to court? She lost her mind, and you, Mom. What's gotten into you? It's like you're completely on her side. I'm your son.
You deserve to pay compensation for all the pain and suffering you caused that poor girl. You'll also be giving me back every last cent of the money you tricked me into giving you. I talked things with your father.
What did Dad say?
That piece of trash ain't no son of mine anymore. He deserves everything that's coming to him. You're on your own now. You made your bed. Now lie in it.
What the? You and Dad are abandoning your own son.
Not only did you subject your poor wife to a malicious campaign of physical and psychological abuse, but you tricked me and your dad into thinking you were the victim.
Well, that was just...
Shut your mouth. I don't want to hear it. I'm sure that even if she did end up reaching to the breaking point and divorcing you before we found out, you would have painted her as the aggressor and pinned the reason for the divorce on her. You would have turned everyone against her and driven further down into the depths of despair. You use social media, right?
I have a few accounts. Why?
I saw the post of your Peepgram page, listing all the things you did to Alice. When Alice divorces this monster and he tries painting her as the aggressor, don't believe a word out of it. He's a twisted psycho and needs a locking up.
Why, it says that on my page? Since when? What the hell, Mom?
Were you too distracted by our chats to notice?
Who the hell posted that?
Your sister. Isn't she clever? I can never begin to understand all the social media business, but I have to admit, I was impressed by her quick thinking.
Kelly did this? So basically my whole family is ganging up on me to ruin my life.
Correction. Your whole family is furious with you for what you did to that poor girl. Your friends and co-workers can see your Peepgram page, right? They'll all be on their lunch breaks now. I wonder how many people already know what a sicko you are.
Oh my god, my phone's blowing up with messages.
Who from?
The people who saw that slanderous crap on my Peepgram page, duh! What the hell have you done? Make her take it down now! If these posts stay up, my life is over! God, my life might already be over!
You lied to and deceived your own family, Craig. If we don't cover ourselves now before everything blows up, who's to say what you might do next? You're clearly a very sick man with no regard for anyone but yourself. We did it to protect Alice too. You made it abundantly clear what she means to you. What's destroying her reputation compared to the hell you've already put her through in that house? You'd paint her as the monster to save your own skin in a heartbeat, and you wouldn't lose a week of sleep over it.
No way, I'd never do that!
Don't be ridiculous. Of course you would. We don't even recognize you anymore, Craig. I shudder to think what else you might be capable of.
If my life gets ruined over this, it's all your fault!
We've already resigned ourselves to what lies ahead for you. The only one who tried to ruin anyone's life was you. It's my job as your mother to read you your last rites. After that, me and my husband ordered Craig to come over to our house. Everyone from both families rushed over, and a meeting was convened. Alice's big brother immediately sprang out of his chair and started yelling at him in a blaze of righteous fury. Craig shrunk into a crumpled heap on the floor and cried his eyes out like a baby. We extracted both Alice's compensation and the money he tricked out of me, without the matter going to court. The posts on his social media led to the story breaking out to the local press after the internet pitchfork mob kicked things into a higher gear, and he had no choice but to delete his accounts and go into hiding. However, the complete and utter destruction of his reputation isn't something that will ever go away. There's not a soul in the world who trusts or respects my son now. After a very brief discussion with my husband, we decided to break off all contact with him. I can only assume he must have felt like we betrayed him, because he never tried to contact us again. Craig has 2 younger sisters, but neither of them want anything to do with him either. He's universally despised and only has himself to blame. It felt like my son died when I found out what he'd been doing. I can't help but feel a tinge of sadness, but I realize I didn't lose anything. I just got to know the real him. I don't regret a thing about how things played out in the end. Apparently, Alice is back to her old self now, after being away from her abuser for a while. She's back to being the bright, cheerful young lady I once knew her as. Her parents told me she married a childhood friend from her hometown a few years after the Craig saga. Well, I hope she finds true happiness this time.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey Mom, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that yesterday Rachel and I had our civil ceremony. So we're legally married now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that you were going to be doing that today. Congratulations on that, and tell Rachel the same.
I'll be sure to do that. Thank you, Mom.
And we just have to think of some way that we can celebrate the next time that the three of us are able to get together. So if there is any restaurant that you two have been wanting to go to, just let me know. It's on me.
Thanks a lot, Mom. We really appreciate that. I'll tell Rachel you said that and see if she has any ideas of where we could go.
Of course, the real celebration is all going to happen at your wedding ceremony.
Come on, Mom. We've already told you that we're not going to have a big wedding ceremony. We'd just be happy to get to celebrate with you.
I know, but how can you not want a big wedding? Don't tell me that you two are worried about how much it's going to cost.
No, it isn't a matter of the cost for us. But you know that Rachel really doesn't like to be around crowds and likes being the center of attention even less, right? Besides, you do know that Rachel really doesn't talk with her parents at all.
Oh, that's right. I had forgotten about that until you just reminded me now. I guess I really shouldn't have let those facts slip my mind, though. I'm sorry about that. But if that's the case, maybe we can just plan something small? I mean, surely she must want to have some photos of her in a big wedding gown or something like that, right?
Look, Mom, I'm really just going along with what Rachel has told me that she wants to do. If that's something she wants to do, then I'm fine with that. After all, everyone knows the star of the wedding is the bride.
You're certainly right about that. And that's why I want you to know that if Rachel ever says anything about wanting a chance to wear a dress and get some photos taken, that I am more than happy to help make that happen.
I appreciate the offer, Mom, but I hope that you're not just wanting to play dress up using my wife as the model. After all, I think it's fair to see you can be a little bit picky when it comes to fashion.
What are you talking about? Of course I'm not going to make Rachel into some sort of doll that I can do whatever I want with. But just remember, my mother-in-law helped me when I married your father and thought that I should extend the same offer to be there. Besides, Rachel is adorable, and I just know that she would look beautiful in a lovely wedding dress. And that way, we could take lots of pictures for the two of you to look back on.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you there. I do think that it would be amazing to see Rachel in a nice dress for our wedding.
Exactly! Even you can't deny it. That's why we have to create a chance for her to wear one. I'll handle the makeup and renting the dress and everything. I'll make sure that she's the most beautiful bride anyone has ever seen.
Okay, well, if we want your help with all that, we'll be sure to let you know. Just please don't get carried away. After all, this is our wedding, not yours. I just don't want you putting too much pressure on Rachel to perform and be the center of attention any more than she is already going to be.
Oh, you don't have a thing to worry about with me. All I want to do is make sure that Rachel has an unforgettable wedding. After all, it's typically once in a lifetime even that you get to wear a wedding dress.
I really appreciate the sentiment, but Rachel's even more shy than I am, and she certainly doesn't really care all that much about clothes, especially not to your level.
Oh, really? You mean not even a little bit?
Well, I just mean compared to you, who has an outfit ready for every occasion. Rachel's a lot more go with the flow, I guess you could say.
Well, I know that we've only met her a few times, but I guess I just never really got that impression from her. I remember the day we met, I thought she had picked out a lovely outfit to be meeting her boyfriend's parents in. And her shoes were quite nice as well. I really wouldn't have thought that was something Rachel just threw together by chance. I guess just seeing her dress up like that gave me the impression that she had at least a passing interest in clothes and fashion.
Well, I guess I can see why you would think that. But just don't go too far with all this. Okay, Mom?
Of course not. I'm sure I was just confirming my own biases in my head. Of course, I shouldn't be making assumptions of people. Although now that we're on the topic of fashion, have you cleaned your shoes like I told you to? Those were completely scuffed the last time I saw you.
Mom, you know that I really don't care all that much about fashion either, right? Besides, I'm an adult and I can take care of my own outfits. Thank you very much. Besides, I really don't try and dress up when I go and visit you. Do you want your own son to feel like he's going to a business meeting when he goes to see you?
Oh, please, you know that I don't care about how you dress while you're at my house. But when you go out, I just thought that you'd want to put some more thought into your appearance.
I mean, I don't think I dress like a bum or anything while I'm outside of the house. But I'm not really thinking all that hard about every little piece that I'm wearing is all.
Well, yes, I'm not trying to say that there's any issue with your style. It's just that it's important to take pride in your appearance, at least up to a certain point anyways. I suppose maybe I still just have my head focused on work, on office life, and all that.
Well, you did have a long career and haven't really been retired for all that long. I guess some instincts take longer to change than others.
If you're suggesting that I still have any desire to keep working, then you're wrong. I've been thoroughly enjoying my time with your father. But you're also quite the hard worker. Have you thought about looking into retiring a bit earlier like I have?
I have thought about it a little, yes. Especially after seeing how much you've been enjoying the retired life. It'd be nice to do something similar with Rachel one day, I think.
Well, just make sure that you don't blind yourself to everything but work to get there. After all, you still have your honeymoon to look forward to. Anyways, just let me know what Rachel thinks about going out to dinner, and mention to her that I really will take care of the dress if she's interested. Hi there, Laura. I just wanted to let you know that I saw you had left me a few messages, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was okay. Oh, hello, Rachel. I was just curious as to where you are right now. You want to know where I am? Well, I'm just at the house right now. But that's not actually true, is it? What do you mean? Of course it's true. I'm at home right now. I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. What is all of this about, Laura? I know that you're at the Uptown shopping mall right now. I'm here too, and I literally just saw you carrying big shopping bags. That's why I wanted to ask about where you are. I really don't know what to say to that, except that I'm not at any shopping mall and I really am home. Are you sure that you saw the right person? Maybe it was someone else. You're saying that you think I only saw someone who looks like you and that you're not actually at the mall? But I was sure it was you. You were wearing a black dress and you were talking with some man. Do you understand why a sight like that might have me a little worried and wanting to talk to you? Laura, I am sorry, but I see exactly what you're saying, and quite frankly, I'm more than just a little offended. I haven't left the house once today, and I really don't want to have to repeat that again. You might have seen someone who looked like me, but I am not that person. I am not talking to any strange men, and I have no shopping bags in my hands, okay? But I really did see someone who looked just like you. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, let me be frank with you. Do you have any evidence at all about what you're claiming? I mean, did you happen to take a picture of this person who you think looks like me? No, I didn't take a picture of her, of course. Well, if you don't have any proof that we can confirm what you're saying against it, it seems to me that there's a high chance that you're wrong. I mean, no offense, but I've known other people who, when they get to your age, swear they are always seeing things that aren't really there, so maybe you should be talking about this with your doctor and not me. Now hold on just a second, even if I did make a mistake. I am certainly not so old as to have that be the problem. But I understand that perhaps I'm not the best position to carry on with this line of questioning. If you had any kind of proof at all, things might be different, but you don't, and that's a big problem. Or is this just your way of having fun? Do you enjoy treating your daughter-in-law like this, leveling baseless accusations against me just so that I'm always on a back foot trying to defend myself? Of course not, Rachel. It's nothing like that at all. I mean, I am so happy that you're with my son and that you both make each other happy. It was really difficult for me to muster up the courage to ask you about the person that I saw. Well, I guess it's a good thing we got to the bottom of this and know that you were just mistaken. Because I find it very upsetting that you all but accused me of cheating on my husband so soon after we've just been married. And so you're really telling me the truth about you being at home right now? You really haven't left the house at all? Laura, you really have no right to still be asking me about this when you don't have any proof of what you're talking about. Now I am really starting to get upset with you. I thought that you and I were getting along well, but maybe now I should rethink how I feel about you.
Mom, you haven't been bullying my wife lately, have you?
What? You're asking if I've been bullying Rachel? Of course not. Nothing like that at all.
Well, Rachel is telling me that you have been, and that she doesn't want to see you ever again. I told her about the memorial that we were going to next week, and she asked if she could just stay home. She is terrified to even be in the same room as you.
I had no idea that she was so upset.
She was crying to me about you, Mom. She was saying that you have a whole other side to you that you don't let your family see. I've never seen her so upset.
Okay, come on. I really don't think that I'm that scary. If there's anyone to be scared of, it's Rachel.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Mom, you do realize that you're in big trouble right now, don't you? I don't want to fight with you, but you can't treat my wife the way that you've been treating her, okay? So just please apologize to her.
Hold on, you're telling me that I have to apologize to her?
Well, of course you do, Mom. I don't think you get it. Rachel wants to stop talking to you entirely. That's how upset she is.
Oh, well, if that's what she wants, then fine. I don't really feel like talking to Rachel either, if that's how she's going to be.
Mom, what has gotten into you? Why are you acting this way? I thought you said you were glad I was with Rachel. I thought you two were getting along so well. I don't understand what's going on between the two of you.
Well, I felt the same way as you, at least at first anyways, but that was only until I learned the kind of person Rachel really is.
Kind of person she really is? What do you mean by that, Mom?
Oh, son, this is not how I wanted to have this conversation. I hope you can forgive me, but I've been doing some digging on Rachel.
Digging? What do you mean by that? I don't get what you're trying to tell me.
Chuck, you have to know that Rachel is cheating on you. She's having an affair.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Look, I am really, really sorry to have to tell you like this, but I only ask that you listen to everything I have to say before judging. The thing is that Rachel has been dating someone before the two of you were even married. And she is still with that same person right now.
Mom, come on. You really expect me to believe this? There's just no way that Rachel is cheating on me. We have the same friends and acquaintances. So I'm pretty sure someone would have told me something by now, don't you think?
Well, what if your friends didn't know at all that she was doing this either? And what if that was because Rachel wanted to hide the truth because the man that she was seeing was actually also already married? That would explain why nobody, not her friends or yours, would know about this affair, right?
Mom, you're really serious about this, aren't you? You really think that Rachel is cheating on me?
Chuck, you know that I would never be sending these kinds of messages if I didn't think something was happening. And you know that I'm not the kind of person to bully my own daughter-in-law for no reason.
I know, but if you're saying all of this, then surely you must have some proof of what you're claiming, right? I mean, you just said that you were looking into Rachel.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to for the past few weeks now. Ever since I saw her with another man at the mall. At first, I thought he might have just been a friend, but then I saw the way they were acting towards each other. I tried asking Rachel about this later, after I saw them, but she just insisted that I had seen someone else.
But you're telling me that you're really sure that it was Rachel who you saw that day?
I saw her with my own eyes, Chuck. You have to believe that I'm telling the truth. You should also know that a couple of weeks after I first saw Rachel and this man, I saw them again just last week.
You're kidding me. So then it wasn't even a one-time thing.
Chuck, you're not okay right now, are you?
I don't know. My head is spinning. This is so much to have it all in at once. I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. Please tell me this is all some kind of horrible joke.
Would you like to come over and spend some time at my house? I have some documents and photos that I'd like to show you. They were all given to me by the PI that I hired to look into Rachel. I know this isn't easy, but I really think that you should take a lot of the evidence that we have.
Yeah, I guess I can come back home today if you think it's best.
But isn't Rachel at home with you right now? Are you going to have to talk to her about visiting me? After all, you do realize that this is probably going to lead to you two having to talk all of this between yourselves, right?
I know, but I have to trust Rachel until I've seen enough that I don't have any more reasons to.
I understand. Well, I don't want to make you do anything that you don't want to do, but you should know the truth. And either way, you're welcome back here anytime. You're just horrible. Do you know this? How could you choose to destroy the happiness that your son had in his marriage? I was wondering when I was going to be hearing from you. But you've got some nerve trying to blame this all on me. Well, I know what you did. Chuck confronted me and he told me to tell him everything, so I told him the truth. That he is nothing but an ATM for me to take money from, and that's it. Is that really what you told him? You really couldn't think of a nice way to put things? You're the one who seems to take the most joy in hurting Chuck, you know. You know, I really think that you should have done a better job raising Chuck right. Raising him right? Just what is that supposed to mean? Chuck is a good boy, and I'm very proud of him. Oh, please, don't you realize that you completely sabotaged Chuck? You should have warned him about the people who might want to get close to him when he makes all that money. All I had to do was bat my eyelashes and give him a little bit of attention before I had him wrapped around my finger. You're the reason it was so easy to trick him. You really are horrible, do you know that? If you didn't really want my son to marry you, then you should have said that. You don't seem to understand. I'm already in my mid-20s. It's high time that I settle down. I was ready to quit working and find a man rich and dumb enough to give me the life I wanted. And everything was going so well with no problems at all until you butted in. If you're telling me that I should have just let you continue to cheat on my son without telling him, then that is simply taking things too far. And just what would be so wrong with that? After all, he loved me, and I told him that I loved him. Nothing would have ever come between us if you didn't do what you did. How can you honestly try and put the blame on me when you were the one that was having the affair in the first place? You need to grow up and accept responsibility for what you've done. And just how should I do that? Are you going to tell Chuck to sue me for the affair? Because I'll pay whatever it takes. After all, now that the truth has come out, my real man said he'll pay for whatever you can throw my way. And he's quite rich, so I'm not worried. Are you sure that that's going to work out that way? Because I'm quite sure you'll be the one paying for this. And just how do you figure that when you don't even know who it is that I've been seeing behind Chuck's back? Well, you're wrong about that. In fact, I've already told his wife about what's going on between the two of you. When I told her, though, she had already had her suspicions and couldn't help but laugh. She said it was funny because her husband doesn't have a penny to his name. What in the world are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense at all. You really must not know much about this guy. Otherwise, you would know that the breadwinner is his wife who owns her own business. He just spends all of her money and doesn't work at all. But when he found out that his wife knew, he went to her begging for forgiveness. So it might be your turn to do just that. Wait a second. You're telling me that it's actually his wife who runs the company? That's right, although I understand that this man lied to you and told you that he was in charge. But then, you mean I'm really going to have to pay everything? I'm really totally on my own in this now? That's right. You thought that you could live your life leeching from man to man, all while only caring about what they could do for you. You didn't even care that you had been caught because you were so sure you would have someone else there to clean up your mess for you. But I have Chuck with me right now here, and I told him all about what you've done. There isn't a secret you have that we don't know about. Okay, I understand that I hurt Chuck. But that wasn't my intention. I never really wanted to hurt him. If he's there with you, can't you just let me talk to him? No, there is nothing to talk about. Chuck has already told me that he plans to divorce you and sue you for the affair. So I would quit wasting any more energy trying to plead with me to speak with Chuck. Your time would be better spent looking for a good lawyer. But this isn't how things were supposed to go for me. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Please, you can't do this to me. I am not doing anything to you. All I've done is let my son know the truth. Everything else is of his own volition. If you're looking for someone to blame, you have no one to turn to but yourself for answers. You lied and manipulated my son. Then you tried to gaslight me into thinking that I didn't see what I knew I saw with my own eyes. But now your lies have finally caught up to you, and you are going to pay for what you've done. After that, I heard that Rachel went back to her hometown to try and live with her parents, knowing that Chuck would cancel the lease on their apartment. Unfortunately for her, she didn't think things very far through, as Chuck's lawyer had to forward her his letter to her parents' house as well. I hadn't told Rachel's parents what had happened, but when they saw and read the letter outlining the lawsuit she was facing, they learned all about what a liar their daughter was. Rachel begged and pleaded with them to help her out and that she didn't have anywhere else to go to for help. Her parents agreed to pay all her legal fees, but in exchange, she would have to find a job in her hometown and would be under strict supervision from her parents. I knew that they weren't the kind of people to let her get away with slacking either. As for Chuck, he continued living with me for a few months while he got through the divorce and got back on his feet. After that, he moved out and into a new apartment. He still comes over frequently, but I can see that he's slowly moving past this horrible betrayal. I only hope that one day my son will be able to trust someone the way that he once trusted Rachel.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.